I completely forgot about the cousins slithering like snakes in that scene being unequivocally evoking the serpent, the devil. Third season, again, is kind of a slow burn, so I forget some points. But yeah, they were snakes. Anywho, it's actually in the episode after Fly, Abikuyi, which is again a great episode, very misunderestimated. That features my favorite object in the entire series, which you never see. You sort of see glimpses of it in the fantasy that Jesse has. The very last episode, Felina, begins with him. And again, it's a Christ metaphor. He's shackled to the machine. His grand metaphor, getting what he deserves, and he's just he reflects back. And a lot of people didn't actually know what that scene meant because they either did not watch the whole series or they just forget about one of Aaron Paul's best performances and one of Jesse's best scenes. Like the third season is probably actually the best season. When I really think about it, because it's the linchpin and it has this limbo where there's so many possibilities, and that's why the viewer can. It's like a Rorschach test. Oh, like Bane and the Watchmen villain. Yes, exactly like that. Like a Rorschach test. You can project all the possibilities, which is what Jesse does when he's in his AA and NA meetings. Do you remember that? That's when Jesse is like at his most happy, and that's when you see that Jesse could become like a leader, like a real leader. That he can use his skills. And again, not to get into all the details of my personal life, but again, I was raised in AA and NA meetings. My parent, I understand that the nature of recovery, the nature of sobriety, isn't necessarily whether you're using substance. I mean, yeah, certain substances are inevitably toxic and evil, like meth. There's no, I'm going to have some chill meth use. No. Walter White. It's all or nothing with meth. But, the nature of recovery should be you recover from the devil's lie, the Lord of the Flies, the Lord of the Lies, and you become honest. Honesty is the 13th step, the real 13th step. Every fucking step is about being true. But again, it's a problem that goes beyond drug addiction. It's just the nature of the big Walter White lie. You know what I'm saying? That American dream that's always been a nightmare. So yeah, when Jesse goes to these AA and NA meetings, until the fourth season, until when, Problem Dog, when he's like, I'm just here to sell you meth, that's his corruption. But initially, before Walt gets him, and that's the point of Abikuyi. Abikuyi is this, Jesse, you could do it. But no, that's why it's a flashback to Jane. That's why Abikuyi is about George O'Keeffe going I'm going to paint the same vagina flower again and again. I'm going to paint the same door frame again and again. But once in a while, I'm going to get it right. And it's that sand mandala. Again, think about this show. It's a brilliant show. It's the exact same point in the season as it was in season 2, episode 11, 1-1. Think about all the palindromes that are in Breaking Bad. Think about how Gale's, not just his apartment number, but you have to combine his apartment number with the address. So it's like 336. Oh, so it becomes a palindrome. This is a brilliant show. And if you look at where Jesse and Jane live, those two mirror image houses, guess what the address is that Jesse lives at? It's a palindrome. That's the epicenter of the entire series. When Walt lets Jane die, it's everything. It's universe in a grain of sand, you know what I mean? So Jesse is there in the third season doing good. And you remember in Abikuyi, and this is after Fly, so bear in mind what's going on here. What happened in Fly, as I talked about a little bit. It's a real moment of clarity. And you forget, I forget the actor's name. He's a good character actor. He plays the head of the meetings, the one that Jesse meets, the one he's like, I ran over my daughter. That's what it's like. What? Accepting that we're all bad, that we all broke bad, that we're all broken. It's the breaking good. Again, the breaking good. That is the struggle. That's what this show really was supposed to be called, but Vince Gilligan and his writing staff are fucking brilliant. As I established the whole time, Skyler White is the hero of the story. And even I didn't really know that for a while. It took a little bit of my own maturity. My own breaking away from the myth of always relating to that fucking evil man. Yep. Low lays the devil in me, Just like in Jesse, that's why I was Jesse Pinkman for Halloween one time, Because Jesse Pinkman was hope, that redemption arc. So yeah, Jesse Pinkman, you remember when the guy, his father figure, goes like, oh, Jesse, I know you've been had some trouble at the laundromat, hey, and this is the trope that AA means do. It's like, hey, if you could do anything, what would it be? And then Jesse starts to talk, and again, it's not a script, it's not his lies, it's not Captain Cook. There is Jesse Pinkman laid bare for maybe the first time since high school. He's starting to reconnect with that. That's what happens. And he starts talking about that woodworking class and how initially he made a piece of shit wooden box. And his teacher looks at him and goes, is that the best you can do? And remember as Jesse's telling the story, like the meeting, the circle around him, this is a very symbolically shot scene. People who initially had been, they start to, I am awake. Jesse is saving souls. It's understated. But that's why Jesse Pinkman is fucking Jesus. That's why he's always wearing fucking, that's like, trust me, fucking heavy-handed as shit. This is a Christian allegory. And Jesse is there redeeming souls left and right. And the guy picks up on it. And the guy's like, holy fucking shit. Like, again, it's one day at a time. But you see it in people sometimes. The people who are meant really to be the shepherds. And the people who are meant to be the fucking wolves. And the people who are destined to be the sheep, But that's the thing, Ringo. We can all be the shepherd. We just gotta go through our own little arcs. Phoenix, rising from the ashes, not repeat the same mistakes, Abikui, not become stuck like a little fly in the ointment, So Jesse's telling the story about this box that he makes, and his woodworking teacher goes, is that the best you can do? And this is a parable, Jesse's telling a parable. And then he's like, no, it's not the best I can do, you motherfucker. And then he's like, Jesse talks about it in these details, and you can see it in your mind's eye. That's why it's the best object in the whole show. That's what the show itself is. It's a magic trick. And you can see this wooden box, and you just like realize it's the most important thing. That's the real fucking daisy. That's not even the green light. That's the real light of salvation. That box that you open it up, and it's just hope. That thing that we don't talk about in mythologies. That rare, again, Jesse says it was perfect. You remember who is he echoing? Walter White, the episode before, his dad. Jesse sees that, and he's trying. That's why it's a tragedy. That's why the third season is a Shakespearean tragedy, the point of no return, because Walter then all of a sudden decides, oh, no, and then spare a minute, when he's facing his death, and yeah, he saves them both, but he sells Jesse's soul down the river by telling him to kill Gale to save his life. Walt should have died then. That would have been a perfect moment, really. But yeah, back for the episode before that, before that. But then Jesse lies, though. Remember at the very end he lies, and he goes, I gave it to my mother. Wait, no. No, I sold it for a thing of ounce of weed. It still holds up pretty well. This is before Breaking Bad. I made this, and I think it wasn't high school. Maybe. Either freshman year, or honestly, it could have been, this could have been earlier. This could have been some 9/11 work, you know what I mean? Middle school. I made this. I almost forgot about it, because I gave it to my mother a few years back. Not intentionally, I had made it, and I used to not like to get my mother gifts. I'm Groucho Marx over here. But I give it to her. Because I know she liked to collect CDs, even up until now, Again, that's the nature of, and the realizing of a junkie, You hoard these objects not only because you're not going to fucking buy the expensive shit that you're going to end up selling, but you buy it because these CDs, again, these objects, they take on magical resonance, and before you know it, you're trapped, though. You're fossilized by these things. That's why I needed to throw away all these things. But not the important things, not the perfect things. Again, I pointed out a lot of my father's things that were important that he hid away. But again, just because I ignored that Skylar White was the real hero, I also ignored how my mother, who kept this, I found it, and it was hidden. It was hidden. And it was very important to her. And I didn't. And I fucking traded a lot of shit for drugs. But the important things, never. I always kept them close. And I'm always going to keep that close. This whole time I'm thinking I'm Jesse Pinkman, but my parents, Maybe I'm Walter White. Who am I kidding? I'm actually fucking Walt Jr. Bitch. You know why I can make that joke? I used to be a stutterer. I still sometimes stutter when I'm very nervous or when I feel overwhelmed. I haven't stuttered really in a while because I feel so at peace with the truth. I would often stutter because I'd be a liar too. When I was a drunk, I would be a liar. So, that's why in the scene with Jesse, talking about that wooden box, it just comes out naturally. I'm probably sure, I don't know the backstory, but it seems like it was just something that Aaron Paul would have improv'd then on the scene. That's how magical and real it seemed. Or just the writing, and I don't know. But it was very good, right? Stuff happens. Baby Blue. Guess I got what I deserved. Kept you waiting there too long, my love. All that time without a word. Didn't know you'd think that I'd forget or I'd regret the special love I have for you. My baby blue. What can I do? What can I say? Except I want you by my side. How can I show you? Show me the way. Don't you know the times I've tried? Guess that's all I have to say. Except the feeling grows stronger every day. Just one thing before I go. Take good care, baby, let me know. Let it grow. The special love you have for me. My mommy dear. Boom.